So we will try to track EC2 configuration changes by using AWS Config. So first of all, we have to set up AWS Config to monitor changes in EC2 instance configuration, and then we'll use AWS Config rule to track the modifications, and then we'll view the compliance status and history. Now what we have to do is we have to log in. These all are the steps. First we'll see the steps and after that we'll move. So first of all, you have to enable AWS, you have to log in into AWS Management Console. You have to go to AWS Config, click on Get Started, select resource type to record, and you have to select a specific resource type. You will select EC2 instance, and delivery channel configuration means where the uh, records are, where the configuration history will store. So you will create an S3 bucket for storing the configuration snapshot. You will assign a name like AWS config issue to tracking, and then AWS config role. You have to select create a role with the required permission. In this permission you have to give to config so that it can access EC2 and S3 both, right? Config can access EC2 and S3 both. That permission it does required, and then you will go to AWS config rule and you will add some rule, and it will detect the changes, and you will modify the instance. You will modify an EC2 instance to trigger the changes, and that changes further. It can be, you can change this T2 micro to T3 micro. You can modify security group IAM role, and you can change it. And then you will go to AWS config resource. You will filter your EC2 instance by ID, and then you can check your configuration timeline, compliance history, and change detected. And if you need to set up notification, you can set up, and then you have to clean it out. Clear, guys? Is it clear to everybody what to do?
Yes, sir.
So let's try now. First of all, we will create one EC2 instance. Let's launch one EC2 instance here with some set of configuration. So here we will launch one EC2 instance of Linux. Linux machine, and we need Maison Linux. We can select, let it be the same free tier, because we don't need anything else here. T2 micro, we don't need key pair also. We are just uh, doing it for changing the configuration. And here we can allow all these two rules, right? HTTP and SSH. And then we will launch this instance. So what configuration we are selecting? We are selecting in security group two rules, SSH and HTTP, and we are assigning a public IP address here. And then we are just using T2 micro. Later on, we are using this Amazon Linux 2023 AMI. Later on we will change and we'll try to track it. So let's launch this instance. So now the entire steps will start to complete it. So as per this document, guys, first of all, you have to enable AWS config. So let's say we will go to the config now. We'll just click here and we'll search management and governance. Under the management and governance, we do have the service called AWS config, which will track resource inventory and changes both. We have to click here on get started. So it is telling you are going to track for which resource. So here you can specify your specific resource type. So here you can select your resource type. So it is EC2 instance. So we will just keep here EC2 instance. AWS EC2 instance, and then we will be doing it continuous or daily. So we will be keeping it continuous frequency. All right. So this is first resource type which we have used so far. This much is clear, guys, these two options. So here we are selecting a specific resource, that is your EC2, right? Continuous, and resource type we have added. Now data governance. IAM role for AWS config. Create AWS config service link role. Choose a role from your account. So we'll create a role, and after this, guys, it is telling us to create a bucket also, so that the configuration details will store into the config. It will store into the config. Okay. So here if you need to add the prefix, you can add. Neither it will give you this bucket name, config bucket, this number, and this will come up, right? So this will be your bucket name, and we'll move to the next. Now what exactly rule we are going to set up here? There are so many rules. AWS 154 managed rules are there. So we are going to detect the configuration changes history. Along with that, we are going to check the compliance rule. So for example, we are using AWS instance. So the instance should not have the public IP address, kind of that rule we can select public IP. So EC2 instance, no public IP. Are you able to see this option, guys? Second one. Guys, am I audible to you all?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this is
Yes,
the
sir.
second option which is coming up here. And then we'll move to the next. So recorded resource type is EC2 instance, frequency continuous, and this is the rule we have selected, and we'll confirm, and it will verify. Yeah, that's done. That's done. It has been created. Now we will go back and we'll try to change the configuration history, compliance detail. We are able to see here who are following the rule, who are not following the rule. And this is the matrices and success matrix, resource inventory. So now we have created this. So done with this. We have added the rule also. Now we will change this, and then we will go to config and we'll go to the resource. We'll select the instance by ID. So now let's go back to rules. Let's go back to the dashboard first. This is the dashboard. Rules which we have created. It is here. See, are you able to get one non-compliant resource, guys? Guys, everybody, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Can you
Oh,
see
sir, we are
this?
following you.
This, can you see this? What it is showing? One non-compliance, right? One non-compliance. What is the meaning of it? The meaning is so simple. One non-compliance means one machine is there which is not following the rule of not having the public IP. EC2 instance, no public IP. This is the rule we have selected, right? It should not have the public IP address, but there is one machine which is having one public IP address which has been detected here. So if you go back to the dashboard now, and if you see here one non-compliant resource, are you able to see?
Yes, sir.
It means that this machine is not following the rule. This machine is not following the rule. That's why it is coming into the non-compliant resources. Here again, non-compliant resource. Which one is the non-compliant? This instance only non-compliant. Why? Because in this machine we have the public IP address. Where is the public IP address? If we cannot see here, we can go back to the EC2 instance and we will be able to see there. See, this is the instances, and if you select the machine, and then here we do have public IP. That's why it is showing non-compliant. Is it clear to everybody? The purpose of config service. First purpose is clear. First purpose is clear to everyone.
Yes, sir.
Let's see the second purpose. So second purpose is if we do any configuration changes. Let's say if in EC2 if I'll go and if I will do some changes into EC2. Let's say I'll change the security group of it. So initially I was having security group where I have enabled port number 22 and port number 80. This is the security group which we have used. I'll change it. I'll just delete both of the rule and I'll add a new rule saying, let's say uh, RDP. RDP generally we are using with Windows, but by mistake, let's say I'm connecting with the Linux machine, right? So I have changed the configuration, one configuration. And you have to once you are changing the configuration, the entire configuration changes will be recorded into the S3 bucket which we have created while creating the config. So we will go to the S3 now. So this is the config bucket S3 which we have just used for storing the config. And if you go to AWS logs, then it will give you the account number and then account ID and then config and then config readability check file, and then this is the file. This is the file. Now we can just use this link to download or access the file. If we want to download, we can download also and we can check it out, right? Let's say if you click on download, it has been downloaded. Now if you'll open into the notepad, generally it used to be into JSON format, so it will be opening into that part only. Right now nothing is coming up into this. Doesn't have bucket versioning enable bucket versioning. Okay, so actually guys, you will be able to access this file once you will be connecting with the machine. This check file, how will we access? We need to check it once. Inside the config folder there is only one file. And size is showing 0 byte. So somewhat it should show like 1 or 2 bytes, something like that. Okay, in this document we will modify and resource, go to config, AWS config resources, EC2 timeline compliance history change detected. Okay, we will check into the config once. Let's go to the config directly. And here we have to go into resources. And guys, once you will change that IP address, then it will be coming into the compliance only. Under the resources, it is telling us how to search. under the resources, search for the EC2 instance by ID. So not all categories, all resource category AWS resources. Resource type, we will be using AWS EC2 instance, and any compliance status. So we can search here non-compliant, so it will just give us here. This is the one non-compliant, this is the instance which we are getting, and resource identifier, apply. This is the machine, we'll click on it. Now on this machine, this rule is showing view configuration item. Yeah, guys, are you able to see this JSON file now? Configuration item. So this is showing the account ID, version ID, and resource ID, the instance in AWS US East we have created. We have given the name Linux machine, and this is the network interface which we have associated with it, and this is the subnet, and this is your security group. This is your security group, and then we have used the volume, and this is your VPC, and we have launched the instance with the T2 micro, and after that we have got the public IP address here 54 dot this one, and then delete on termination. This has been done, and slowly if you reach, you will be getting those options also which we have modified. So these all are capacity reservation, uh, HTTP capacity, this one security group, right? Security group is coming, group ID, this group ID, group name launch wizard 1. I have deleted and I have created for RDP. Group ID again it is showing here, but rules are not showing, like which rule we have added and which rule we have. Resource manage, resource timeline, resource manage, change detected, changes detected. So the changes detected will be coming tag. These all are coming into the JSON, guys. We will try resource timeline. Let's see what exactly the events it is showing. Configuration changes. So view full record. Yeah. So here we can see, guys, see here we are able to see the configuration changes, right? Under the timeline, if you go here, we do have cloud trial events. All the events we will be able to see here under the cloud trial kind of event run instance, because we have created it, and the configuration changes will be coming up here. If you click on view full record, so you will be able to check out the changes with respect to these things. So this will show us the configuration changes with respect to the EC2, sorry, what do we say, network security group. So reader friendly view, launch wizard 1, so JSON. So only this detail is showing us resource type and the machine, this security group name, and the security group stuff, whatever we have changed, that should come up into the S3 bucket. That will come up into the S3 bucket, and somewhat more if we can see here. Manage resource will bring directly to the resource whatever we are using, security group, and there is nothing extra here, guys. There is nothing extra. And see, if you go back again to the dashboard, this is showing one non-compliant it is showing. We did not set up the notification here. If you will set up the notification, then that will again start sending you notification once you will be having the configuration changes. And here, if you don't want this, what you can do is you can go back and you can remove the public IP address of machine, and then it will come under the compliance, right? So if we go to EC2 instance now, this is the machine, action, networking, manage IP addresses. So this is the private IP address, uh, public IP address we have already assigned. Now we need to remove that. uh, so we have to do certain settings to avoid this IP address. So first of all, we'll stop the instance, so this IP will get released, and then we'll go to the networking and we'll select the subnet which we are using, this subnet we are using, and we will modify the subnet setting so that the subnet should not assign the public IP address to any machines, right? So we are not assigning direct IP address to any machine. We'll save it. Now we'll go to again EC2, and in EC2 we will go to instances. It has been stopped. Let's start it again. But it is still giving the IP address because we have selected, while creating the machine, we have selected the IP. So again it is getting public IP, manage instance state, instance setting, change termination, stop, shutdown, networking, attach network interface, detach network connect, RDS database, deassociate. Elastic IP is not there, so of course we will not able to deassociate it. Manage IP addresses, this is coming auto assign. From here, if we could do it, then allow secondary private IP address to assign, save, confirm. See, now this machine is not having public IP address, right? Now this machine is not having public IP address. It means that it is following the rule. If it is following the rule, it means that if we go to the configuration now, and if we refresh it one two time with respect to this rule, it is showing one non-compliance. After a few minutes it will not show, because again it will detect continuously. So it won't come after that, guys. Just it will take some time to detect it again, and then it will not show there. So we can select all resources. Here we can select EC2 instance, and then compliance, non-compliant, apply. This is only showing again and again. Guys, it will take some time. Automatically it will bring, in compliance, because we have removed, right? We have removed, and of course it will come under the compliance after some time. Okay, so basically, you once you will come to know about cloud trial, like the same we are accessing this config for, the JSON file which we are storing into the S3 bucket. So that lab we will be doing in future. So that time you will be able to understand. For now, uh, if I'll summarize this point now, so what we have seen before, we will be giving in the point. We have used config. First of all, under the config we have created the rule, and with the rule we came to know which particular resource is not following the rule, that will be coming into the non-compliance, and the entire activity is going into the S3, and going into the S3, and from config also we can see in the timeline changes and uh, inventory. This was the lab, guys. I hope, is it clear to everybody? Is it clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
parallelly we have to delete the resource also. I forgot to delete the resource. So for example, here we have created a rule. This rule we have to delete. This rule will confirm. We'll delete this rule. It is deleting, and we have created one config. It is still deleting. Okay. Next, we have created one EC2 instance also. This is personal account, guys. So we have to delete everything just after completing the lab. Why? Because this we have to use for long term, so you have to keep deleting the resource. And then volumes that should get deleted with the machine itself, I guess. And let's see. Okay, and then S3. This bucket is not empty. Now we have to make it empty, and then we have to exit, and now we have to delete this bucket. So this we should also bring into the practice, guys, the deleting part, because once you complete the lab, your removing the resource is also important. Anything last which is pending? Of course, the role which we have created, that is pending again. uh, the role was created here for config, so this role we will delete. Almost we have deleted everything.